In today's video, we will be taking a look to see what the GTX 1070 can do in 2024. Now here on the channel, we've been looking at the 1070 quite a bit. I think we did one last year on the 1070, and I think we might have even done one in 2022 as well. So we've looked back for a couple of years to see what the GTX 1070 can do, and I think we may as well just look to see what it can do this year as well. So I think it's about eight years old now or something. I think it's 2016 was the release date. So on eBay now they're around about 85 to 90 pounds, or maybe a little bit more for the more premium models. But I've got this really nice EVGA model. This is the SC gaming version, and it actually lights up here as well, and it's actually really good. It has like a white light where the top of that logo is, and there's also white sort of at the sides here and what have you. So it's actually a really nice card, this, and it was actually well, basically what happened is a viewer on my channel reached out to me. He actually sent me over the back plate for the MSI GTX 1070 Gaming X version that I had, which unfortunately that one didn't work. But then he actually reached out again and said, look, you know, I'll give you £100 to actually go out and buy another graphics card. So that was really nice of him, and I won't mention who it was here unless he wants unless he wants to comment and actually say it was him. So I'll leave it up to him whether he wants to do that. But yeah, this is a big moment for the channel because this is the first sort of sponsored video, if you will, kind of like sponsored, but it's not officially like sponsored. But it's, you know, a first video where viewers reached out and we've been able to use that money to actually then actually buy something for the channel. So technically this video is sponsored, but you know it's not like a big brand or anything like that sponsorship. But it's still really appreciated that someone, you know, a viewer, again, if he wants me to, I'll put his name, but I might ask him before I release this video. But yeah, so yeah, really looking forward to actually looking at this GTX 1070 to see what it can actually do in 2024. But I think overall that's enough sort of talk. I think really again we just need to go over to the monitor and just take a look to see what this little graphics card can do, eh guys? So let's go. So our first game up with the GTX 1070 is going to be Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and we're going to try at 1080p at high settings, the high preset. So let's just run benchmark here. So here we go into the benchmark here, getting about 100 frames a second here. Our GTX 1070 is being fully utilised, 99% usage, which is great. 59 degrees centigrade, again that's fine temperature wise for a GPU, it's not a problem. And our CPU is only sitting about 5% or so usage with 44%, well now 43 degrees centigrade, so that's really cool and nice. So yeah, 1080p high, Shadow of the Tomb Raider seems to be working pretty well at the moment. Yeah, so the GTX 1070 is certainly doing pretty, you know, it's still holding up. The GTX 1070 is still holding up in 2024. You know, it's still okay. You know, we will see a few more games, and it will be pushed a bit more in some of the other games that we've got. We've got Cyberpunk 2077 lined up, and we've got Starfield lined up, and we will try and get Fortnite as well, but the servers were down when I was starting to record this, so I started off with this game. But we'll try and get Fortnite right at the end, but if not, it won't, you know, unfortunately won't happen. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, about 90, 93, 94 frames a second here. So here we go at the end of the benchmark now. So the GPU was a minimum of 73 frames per second, a maximum of 160, and an average of 97. So 97 average, 1080p high, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, smashing it with the GTX 1070. So good pass here on our first game. So our next game up is Cyberpunk 2077, 1080p full screen, and the graphics we're going to set to high again, the preset is high, but we might turn down to medium if it's a little bit too demanding, because this game can be quite demanding, especially on older graphics cards. So into the Cyberpunk 2077 benchmark, and we're about 55 frames a second here, so that's pretty decent, I would say. 99% usage on the GPU and about 61 degrees centigrade there on the GPU. So our GPU staying nice and cool, even on even being utilized fully, 100% utilized. So it's actually starting to come up a little bit as well now into the 80s now even. Obviously we're going outside, so there's probably going to help a little bit in terms of the frame rate there. But yeah, I think overall this is probably going to average about 60 FPS, so it's looking quite good. We'll see the results in a minute or two. But yeah, I do think for a 1070, which is obviously quite an old graphics card now, and you can easily get under £100 on eBay now, comfortably, or probably about 90 or even 85. It's usually about. This is still a good graphics card. It's still 8 gigabytes of VRAM as well, so you should have enough VRAM there, and it's decent still. So yeah, there we go. 63 was our average, 63 frames a second average, a minimum of 51 and a maximum of 79. So yeah, playable, I would say. 60 FPS is fine, even at 1080p high for the 1070. So yeah, really happy with that, really impressed. So let's go on to probably a game which isn't going to run too great, but it never does on any hardware. It's going to be Starfield. So here we are on Starfield, and as we expected, the GTX 1070 is struggling here, but again, more or less every graphics card actually struggles here. So although on our CPU only about 5% usage or so that's great, but our GPU being stressed out 100% here, and we're just about getting 30 FPS, so not good at all really, and there's probably a few drops here and there as well. So yeah, not great here, but let's go into the settings and just have a look to see what we had actually. I should have done that before, but never mind. So okay, we're 1080p high, so that's probably why. So let's come right down to medium. Sorry, it's come right down to low. Sorry, and then we'll try that again. Okay, so we have improved into our frames per second here. So we are about sort of 45, 48, 49, 50, sort of round there. Let's just do a little benchmark now. So there is a few drops. We are dropping down to 36. That's our 0.1% low. Isn't too bad though. Although this is a low again, so the graphics are really quite poor. I mean, I don't think I could actually play this game with this bad graphics personally. It'd be pretty hard to actually play this game because it is, you want to play it as a next gen game, don't you? You don't want to play it like a PS1 game, so it doesn't look great here at all. So let's put it to medium, and that might give us a bit of better balance basically. So we'll go graphics preset medium. Okay, so again we haven't really gained that much, but we're in about sort of the low 50s, maybe the high 40s, so about 45 to 50 frames per second on average. Yeah, have got a few drops again. We've dropped down to 12 frames per second there, but overall it's staying about 35. So it is staying above 30 even at 1080p medium. So I would say it's playable, and the graphics do look actually acceptable now, where before at 1080p low it's basically just, yeah, like I say, it looks pretty poor. So almost like PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 sort of standard. So yeah, overall, I mean, let's just get those benchmarks out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, sitting around 40 or so, it's okay. And obviously our GPU's doing fine. It's getting full utilization. But again, this game is just quite buggy and a bit of a mess. And I've said that before, but it is what it is. And yeah, it is playable 1080p medium at Starfield with the GTX 1070. But again, I suppose really, if you're going to play Starfield and you actually do want to play it, you are going to have to go far higher than a 1070 really. I mean, really, you're going to have to go all the way up to like a 4070 to actually get any kind of decent frame rate from it really. But yeah, overall, it's doing... The graphics card is performing fine, so I'm not, it's not a problem there. And 1070, to be fair, it is holding up quite well, especially in the more older games. It is holding up fine still, especially in 2024. Let's go. Let's see if we can get Fortnite. If we can't, then we'll just end the video. But overall, I do think it's doing okay for such an old graphics card. I mean, what is it now? Like 7 odd years old, or more than that. Might be 8 years old now. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, this is actually still holding up quite well. This graphics card, and certainly for under £100, you've still got a decent graphics card here. So not bad at all. Let's go into Fortnite and see if we can get that. Yeah, so unfortunately with Fortnite we're not going to be able to do it because the servers aren't responding. So I think we'll pretty much leave it there. If there are any more games you want to know about, let me know, and I might still have the card for a little bit, so I can obviously test some more games. But overall, I do think in those 3 games that we saw, it has actually performed quite well. The GTX 1070, and I think it's done okay. Obviously, Starfield is a bit of a mess of a game, so it didn't really perform that great, Starfield, but it's still got over 30 FPS, even at 1080p medium, so it's still playable in my book. I mean, I'd say anything over 30 FPS is playable enough, and then obviously what you're wanting is 60 FPS to make it a nice experience. So overall, I do think the 1070 has done well here, and just let me know in the comments what you think of it, and please like the video to help the algorithm, and as always guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.